I never thought a single sentence could unleash such a storm. But there it was, hanging in the air like a blade waiting to strike. My wife let out a sharp, almost mocking laugh before saying the words I never expected to hear. "You're just not enough." For a heartbeat, everything froze. That familiar sting of inadequacy crept through me, burning slow and deep. But instead of snapping back, I drew in a slow, steady breath. I let her words land exactly the way she wanted, meant to cut, to provoke, to spark a fire she could later brag about. We were in the living room, the last light of the day spilling through the blinds, slicing the walls with thin bars of gold. The kids were at a friend's house. Spared from watching the scene she clearly wanted to create. She leaned back with a smirk pulling at her lips, waiting for the outburst, the shouting, the rage, the collapse. But nothing came. I didn't yell. I didn't question her. I didn't plead. My calm was intentional, a quiet act of rebellion. I let her words lose their venom before I finally met her gaze. For the first time, that unshakable confidence of hers wavered. I said nothing. The silence stretched thick between us, heavy with everything unspoken. I didn't owe her an explanation or defense. She thought she controlled that moment. She didn't. I stood up, walked into the kitchen, poured a glass of water, and returned, still silent. The soft clink of the glass against the counter echoed through the room, sharper than any comeback could have been. My silence spoke louder than shouting ever could. She shifted, her smirk faltering just enough to betray the tension beneath. Her posture said it all, leaning slightly forward, waiting, almost desperate for the explosion that never came. She thought she could break me with a single cruel joke, a throwaway line meant to humiliate. But I wasn't that man anymore. I'd learned long ago that words can hurt, but reactions, those are choices. And I chose control. I walked past her, slow and deliberate. Each step a reminder that I wasn't hers to manipulate. The tension didn't belong to me anymore. It was hers to carry. She had expected drama, maybe tears, maybe rage. Something she could twist into her version of events later. Instead, she got silence. Heavy, disciplined silence. I could see her confidence starting to crack. Small fractures appearing in the mask she wore so effortlessly. Then she tried again, softer this time. I was just joking. The words came out awkward, uncertain. I gave a small nod, not in forgiveness, not in agreement, just acknowledgement. Her attempt to wound me had failed completely. There was strength in my restraint, in showing her that my worth wasn't hers to define or destroy. The air between us shifted. Not explosive anymore, but charged with realization. I couldn't be shaken. I sat back down, relaxed against the couch, letting her feel the weight of her mistake. She had underestimated me, and in doing so, she had already lost. For a moment, her face softened, the arrogance gone, replaced with something uncertain, almost uneasy. I could see her searching for a way to regain control, to rewrite what had just happened. But the truth was plain. I wasn't a man she could belittle or manipulate. My dignity wasn't negotiable. I leaned back, letting the silence linger between us like a verdict. She searched my face, hoping to find a flicker of pain, some trace of weakness. But there was none. Only calm, steady assurance. I hadn't shouted. I hadn't insulted. Yet I'd given the strongest response possible, quiet certainty. The rest of the night passed without another word about what she'd said. Still, I caught her glancing at me, her expression uneasy, as if replaying every second of it in her mind. I took slow, measured sips of my drink, at peace, knowing that real power doesn't need to be loud. Later, as I thought about it, something became clear to me. Anger is easy. Defensiveness is predictable. But true strength lies in restraint, in proving that no insult can touch your self-worth unless you hand the power to do so. She might have expected me to crumble, but what she saw instead was a man who knew exactly who he was, someone whose calm carried more force than any argument ever could. In the end, her words didn't matter. The insult faded, and my silence became the message she never saw coming. Some lessons are learned without shouting. Some victories are won without noise. That night, I walked away, not angry, not broken, but certain, my self-respect untouched, unshakable. entirely my own.